Right, hi everyone. Thing I want to say first off is that I'm very, very ordinary, but I believe in an extraordinary God. I absolutely believe in the impossible. I expect the unexpected, and if you want to get on with youth work, you've got to believe he's that big. You've got to believe he loves you that much, and you've got to go that far for him. In fact, you've got to give everything to him, because until you give everything to him, you will never see the young people in our society healed. You will never see their souls restored, and you will never see their wounds healed. Unless you go all the way, I'd say get out of it now. Right, I head up a youth project. How did I come to head this up? I have no idea. I was going to retire, okay? 2-bedroom bungalow in the country, my husband and I, we were going to retire. Retired from teaching, trained up all the youth workers, nice time to go and sit down. Okay, 3 things changed my life, 3 dreams, never dreamt anything before, really quickly. First dream, on holiday in the Lake District. I have a dream. One of my youth workers, with his guitar, singing the song Shackles. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. Mark, go away, I'm on holiday. End of dream 1. Dream 2, in a place I didn't know. Young people walking around a street, dragging their chains. They came from everywhere. And a voice said really clearly, who's going to tell them of a God that loves them? Who's going to show them a God that cares? End of dream. Next day, another dream. Where am I? Driving my car in the dark down a place I'd never been, down a road. I was near the sea, arrived at a car park, got out my car, could see the sea, could smell the sea, saw a row of houses and shops. And right at the end, by a tunnel, there was a light on, and there was a building, and it said, shackles off. And inside were young people around round tables and chairs, and my friend serving behind the counter. And I stood there, and I saw it, and I knew God said, this is what you've got to do. Right, where do you go from there? Have no idea. Right, tell my husband what's happened. He thinks I've gone mad. I've retired, gone senile, lost my mind, gone absolutely mad. But you know I couldn't let this go. And I said to him, when we go home, we're going to have to do something about that. The Sunday before I go home, my friend takes me to church. She said, it's a little Methodist church. There's only an Anglican church, a Methodist church, and an RC church in the village. You won't like any of them, but we'll go to the Methodist. I say, okay, come on, let's go. So we went there, and as I was in that church, God spoke to me. And I said, if you don't speak to me while I'm in this church, I'm never coming back to this place. Because I knew that that church was in that village that I had dreamt about, because I saw that corner shop that was all tatty and torn to bits. And I smelt the sea and I saw it, and I knew I was where God had shown me in my dreams. And right at the end, someone said, let's sing a modern song. And they got from the organ and went to the piano, and they sang, one more step along the road I go. A modern song? Oh, well, okay. But I cried, and I didn't stop crying. And you know, from that moment on, I saw young people in that village that I never knew, and my heart broke for them. I went back to my nice, comfortable cottage in the country in Pembrokeshire with my husband, and I shared my dreams with our pastor and the deacons. And he said, put your house on the market. 5 days later, it's sold. Houses weren't selling. Lord, what are you doing? Are you going to go for me? What can you do? People say you've got a lot of faith. I say I don't have any faith, because how can you say no to a God like that? You know, that's the worst thing. You can do the impossible. Right, we have Shackles Off Youth Project, exists in C-Scale. We are church-based. We have all the usual management team, youth committee, policies, procedures. I break all the rules. I make the rules, I break the rules. Okay? That's it. Jesus broke all the rules, not the laws. He broke all the rules. He went where he wasn't supposed to. I'm in the paper. Why am I in the paper? That youth worker sitting on the beach at the picnic tables, eating and drinking with known criminals. Oh, wow. Right, God knew what was happening in that little village in the middle of nowhere. None of you have heard of C-Scale. None of you have heard of me. Do you know what? A young mum with 3 young people in her family and a child cried out to God one day and said, Lord, if you don't send anyone for the youth in this village, I'm never going to church again, and I'm never taking my kids to church. Do you know what old people in those churches prayed? If you don't do something about our young people, our church is going to die. I came because God called me, but because people prayed. They wanted a young man who could play a guitar. They got an old woman who can't sing. But I tell you what, He knows what he's doing. You think you're ordinary. Praise God for the ordinary. I got a loo brush in my hand, right? A loo brush. What do I do at Shackles Off? I clean the shit out the loos. I do. And I'm the project leader. I clean the vomit off the floor. I go to the places in that village where no one else will go. I know where their huts are. I know where they slash their wrists. I know where the anorexic is. I visit her in hospital. I know where the young offender goes. And the outside agencies, we're rurally isolated. Our young people can't get anywhere. They can't get the help they need. What do? We say to the agencies, you come to us. You come to us. I just employed a new youth worker. She's not a Christian. Oh, wow. Do you know what? At Soul Survivor, she asked me if I'd buy her a Bible. Do you know what as well? She knows all the songs off by heart. She writes them out for me so we can sing them. Watch his face. Right. I did church for 2 years in our drop-in centre. By the way, we give everything away because he's a God that gives. Don't charge for anything. How do we survive? Ask him. He knows because he supplies. Right? Don't worry about money. Money is not a problem with God. You don't have to be asking people for money all the time. All you need is to tell God your problem. He'll sort it. We give everything away. We break all the rules. Right, we do church for 2 years. I do church on a Sunday morning with a handful to 15 young people who don't even believe in God. I didn't have any Christians. They brought in their newspapers. They had their phones. And somehow, 3 of us, 3 crazy ladies as they called us, started to try and sing these songs. And we'd have people up on the big screen. But you know, they came week after week. I thought, Lord, what are they doing here? They're not listening. We took them to Soul Survivor this year. Wow, we took a whole group of non-Christians to Soul Survivor. We came back with 9 of them saved. Things have looked on now. God is at work. Time's going really quickly. Wanted to do street pastors. Can't do street pastors. You're not all Christians. You work with non-Christians. We're a social project, but we're Christian-based. So Les Isaacs invites us up to London, and we're going to do Night Watch. We're going to be the pilot for Ascension Trust, who run street pastors. We're going to be a rural project working with non-Christians on the street at nights, because that's where the devil's at work, and that's where God needs to be. We break all the rules. Don't think you can't go beyond. Don't think someone says, no, you can't. If God says, yes, you can, you stand your ground. I want to see this country revolutionized because people believe that God is extraordinary, that they believe he is the answer to everything. And because he loves you, he loves me, and he loves our young people.